Well, let's get more on this now. We're joined by Ali Abunimah, the co-founder of the Electronic Intifada online news service, and he's joining us from Chicago on Skype. Very good to have you with us, as always. So they have adopted this resolution. What next for it with the Knesset, with the Israeli government?
Well, Happy New Year to you, first of all. And yeah, I think the details of what the Knesset does or what the Likud party does is not what's important here. I think what is important here is the signal this sends to the rest of the world that this Israeli government, in fact, this Israeli political regime, and what I mean by that is the whole spectrum of political parties in Israel, is not interested in, is not willing, is not capable of ending the occupation, of liberating Palestinians. This is a political regime across the board, all the parties in Netanyahu's government, that are determined to deepen the colonization and occupation of the Palestinians. So the real signal from this vote is to the rest of the world that if you want peace, if you want an end to the occupation, you have to put real pressure on Israel.
And Mr. Abunimah, you know, we were speaking just recently after that resolution at the UN General Assembly condemning the US move to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. And you were very hopeful then that that would be a sort of watershed moment in the international community. And yet we have the Likud party doing what it's doing now. And there was a lot of mention of US President Donald Trump and his support for this Israeli government during the Likud party conference. So just how much of that determination that you speak of by this Israeli government is emboldened by this US president, and what can the international community and Palestinians actually do now? What is the recourse here?
Well, what I said after the Jerusalem vote is much as I say now. I thought the Jerusalem vote was a very important signal, but that if things stopped at words and resolutions, then nothing would change. And this, what the Likud voted for precisely underscores my point, is that resolutions have to be followed up by actions, by sanctions, by making Israel pay a price for 50 years of military occupation in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. 2018, we're just starting now. Is this going to be another year of hand-wringing and empty statements about a two-state solution from the so-called international community? Or are they going to impose a cost on Israel for its continued international outlaw status and violations? That's the question. And I think if governments continue to drag their feet, what we're going to see in 2018 is a real escalation and growth of the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement, and Israel being treated more and more like a pariah state, as South Africa was a generation ago. That's the way this is going. And Israel is sending the signal clearly with this vote by the Likud party that it's interested in entrenching apartheid and occupation. Israel is not interested in peace.
Mr. Abunimah, it is great, as always, to get your thoughts. We thank you very much for your time, and a Happy New Year to you too. Ali Abunimah joining us live from Chicago. Thank you.